Hey guys, how's it going? I'm putting a chuck on main spindle, Collet Chuck, and doing a little video on how to set it correctly. If you don't know, it can be a little confusing, but it is very, very simple. So right now I just have this threaded on, none of the bolts are in or anything. So there's basically two sleeves to this Collet Chuck. There's the outer sleeve and then there's the inner sleeve. The inner sleeve gets threaded onto the draw tube. The outer sleeve just gets bolted to the spindle face. So if you look, I just threw a collet in here, right? And if you look, there's a bunch of room in here, right? So that if I was to go ahead and set it up like this, when the chuck actuates, it's going to be moving while it's actually closing, which is not good, because you can push and pull your material depending on what you're doing. So the only thing you have to do is the inner sleeve in here. Let me take this off. This inner sleeve, right, so this is the collet, but this inner sleeve needs to be threaded out a little bit more. Normally I just bottom it out and then I back off and figure out where I need to be. So this collet needs to be sitting more forward, right? So I'm just going to unthread. Now this one's pretty nice where it's sitting. I'm going to actuate the collet so the spindle comes out, right? And then I'm just going to unthread this. Now this is like a key, like a dowel key, right? So I'm just going to go find actually I'm going to go a whole rotation. So I'm going to be back on this. You see it fits on right there. Go ahead and close it. And now when I put this cap on, it should be sitting more forward. And it is, but you can tell, see if there's still more room in there. So basically I have, I don't know, maybe an eighth of an inch in there. So I'm just going to unthread it more and more until I get to that spot. I should be able to just pull it out. So just activate it, and then I'll go ahead and unthread it another turn. I'll probably go a turn and a half. Figure out where this needs to sit. Right about there. Now you do have to be careful, as you see this right here, where I can actually pull this off and I can rotate this and this is not moving. That's because the only thing that holds these two sleeves together in orientation are some keys. So I wouldn't want to close the chuck right now because I'd probably shear those off. So I'm going to rotate this back out and find the keyway. You see how it slides back over the inner sleeve, and then I'll just kind of line it up by eye, and then I'm going to actuate it, and while it's closing I'm going to go ahead and find it. It's a little tricky, but if you don't do it right, you could be shearing your keys off. Okay, see it now? Now there's just a little bit of room in there. Now it's always better just to have a tiny bit of pressure than a gap, right? But sometimes you have to have a little bit of gap and no pressure. So it just depends on where you get your collets from and how everything's set up. But that's how you eliminate the gap in the collet, so that you don't start pushing your material around. Because you don't want this collet to be moving this way. You want it just to be closing and opening, just like that. So, and that's it, guys. So this is on a Eurotech B620. It doesn't really matter though. All the machines that use this type of a B style collet should be the same. This is a B60, but it's the same for a B42 or anything that has this style. Thanks, guys.